am joined by the guys from Aliens and Stuff. Say hi, guys.
Hey.
Hello.
How we doing?
Yeah.
It's not the only video to have been leaked. You know, before it was to Tom DeLonge and to the Arts Academy, to the Stars Academy, sorry. They got the Tic Tac video and the Pentagon, you know.
Yeah.
I was just about to get to that point, Nelly. Thank you. Is it a pre-planned leak, though? Is it a leak or is it sharing? Because if you believe Tom DeLonge, he had generals and things coming to him going, we want to get this stuff out there. We want you to do it. We want to do it, you know.
Well, I think release, and I talked about this last week a little bit because the question was posed to us, why now? Why is disclosure now becoming a big thing?
Yeah.
And the point that we all, I think, agreed on when I made it was I think it's with technology improving and with more people being aware of the field as the years have gone on, going all the way back to the 50s and then forward, I think technology is getting to a point now where eventually there will be an event or a sighting which will be so big, so many people will see it, so many people will take a video or a picture or something audible that it will be too difficult to debunk. Yeah. It will be impossible for the government to, even with all that technology, in my opinion. So I think what they're doing is they're disclosing, as you to answer your question, in a planned, more measured way. And I think Spencer alluded to this as well. It's planned to kind of prepare us for it.
Well, we have to be prepared for it. It's because it's going to happen if we are being visited in whatever form. At some point, it's got to come out. So if you assume, let's say, you look at, like, you know, people always say that the mass sightings occurred from like when we first let off the, you know, first atomic bomb, and that was like kind of the catalyst to a lot of UFO sightings, etc., in the Second World War. And, you know, if, you know, we are going to colonize space in the next 20, 30 years, whether that be through SpaceX or whatever, you know, people are going to see things. There's already tourists, you know, booking to go up on the ISS and this, that, and the other. All right. They've got a lot of money and they probably get to sign a non-disclosure form or what have you. But eventually, when it becomes more mainstream, people will see things. And if that's going to happen in 10, 20, 30 years time, you can't ignore it anymore. But you're not going to wait till the last minute. So, you know, I think, you know, the Tic Tac UFO, it was released. It was years and years and years ago. And everybody said, no, it's not real. And then the Navy comes out and says, actually, yeah, it is real, and we don't know what it is.
2004, 2014, 2015, all these videos have been stacking up for 15 years or so. This thing about the release.
Yeah.
Do you think this is a new? Do you think this is something that's through the internet age they've realised, oh hell, we're going to have to do this, or do you think it's actually been a long-term plan? Because I think about films and TV and the media and all this for the last 50 years. And you know, there's that thing in the movie Paul with the alien, and they say, because they've been leaking images of me out for years, so that when you finally do see me, you don't freak out.
We have just been through a world pandemic at the end of the day, and they did release the Tic Tac videos, and it wasn't even the biggest part of the news that day, was it? So I mean, that's something else to consider. Maybe we're just a bit desensitized to it. I mean,
that's the word I'm looking for. Desensitized. We're becoming desensitized.
I mean, another point that I had about this is, I think, especially people like us who have a real interest in the field, we see a lot of crap from people within the field. There is a lot of people out there that are putting out fake UFO videos, CGI stuff. That annoys the three of us more than anything else. But maybe we've seen so much of that now we're having this conversation being cynical about actual disclosure happening, because of how much crap we've been fed by other people over the years.
Is some of that planned, though?
Well,
could be.
I mean, it kind of just jumping on one of the comments there from Nelly about, you know, are they controlling what we get to know, as in giving us crumbs in order to divert full facts? One thing that I always focus in on is, and, you know, think what you will about Stephen Greer and his, you know, alleged ideas that there's going to be some sort of Dr. Manhattan-esque attack in the future where it all gets blamed on aliens. That being said, he does talk about, you know, there being this sort of black ops shadow government in place, similar to people like Ted Gunderson, for example, after leaving the FBI. You know, there's plenty of people. So as I was saying earlier about, you know, they can pursue Snowden so aggressively, but they can't seem to figure out who this leaker is. Well, could that potentially be deep state interference feeding us stuff for more nefarious purposes.
Yeah, it's not going to be a full immediate disclosure. You wake up on Monday morning and Sky and BBC News are like, guess what? Aliens are real. And there's like a picture of a grey posing with like, you know,
Trump.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Don't do that. Don't give him an excuse to come back.
No.
I saw Obama a few months ago, though, in a news report, and he was asked the same thing on one of those late night shows. And he basically said, I can't tell you, made a joke out of it. And then he's asked last week, and he said, sort of, I can't tell you, but seriously, there is stuff up there that we don't know what it is. And I'm watching it going, whoa, that's a change.
It is a shift, isn't it? I personally, though, I don't believe, honestly, what Greer says about the presidents not being told exclusively what some of the three-letter kind of, you know, agencies know about whatever they know. I can buy into the fact that the presidents are not really told everything, because at the end of the day, they are politicians. They will look for any angle or any leverage that they can to get themselves more power or stay in or get a bill through or whatever. And they are a temporary employee. They are going to serve either 4 or 8 years in the US or even in the UK. The similar, 4 or 8 years generally. So I can understand why they wouldn't be told, quite frankly. And they're a danger if they are told, because let's face it, they're not going to be a politician forever. They might be sitting on the beach one day with all of their nice, publicly funded security suddenly gets taken over by a load of people like us, storming them, going, right, tell us about UFOs. And they might break one day.
Occupy Area 51 movement.
Yeah.
That went well.
That was the stupidest thing.
The memes were incredible, though, weren't they? I think everyone can agree with that.
I think I love the way they were running, with their arms back.
So good.
Like Dragon Ball Z, yeah, it was incredible.
I just like seeing all the soldiers there, like cocking their rifles, going, "When, bring it." But nothing happened, did it? So I was gutted about that. I love the there was a
let's do it again. Why not?
Coming out going, don't forget this is the desert. Please take water. We're talking about this being a long-winded plan, though, as well, or a plan that potentially goes back 50 years. And I think about the Robertson report at the end of the sort of the Washington flap, and they sort of got together and they thought, right, and the conclusion of the Robertson report was basically that the CIA should purposefully try to disencourage the general population from looking too much into aliens. That was basically what they suggested. I would say that's what's been happening ever since.
I agree.
Made sure that that us as ufologists are considered conspiracy theorists, tinfoil hat wearing idiots. We're regularly seen on, in media, on TV shows as complete nutters, or people that live in caravan parks, who haven't showered for weeks.
We partly do that to ourselves, though. Sometimes.
Not shower.
Well, I shower. Yeah. No, I'm not talking about the people that are genuinely serious about it, like us, and a lot of people watching this as well. I think they're fine, but I think where there might be misinformation people on the side disclosing stuff, they might chuck a couple of idiots into our community and get them to just make themselves look like complete idiots to make a mockery of the rest of us. And I'm wondering whether that's something that happens a little bit.
There's something to be said about a divide and conquer mentality, isn't there? It'll be easier to manipulate what gets out. Yeah, if you've got legitimate experts muddled up with
the crazies,
George Callis or something.
I love it. Not saying it was aliens, but it was aliens.
But it was aliens.
The term conspiracy theory was coined by the government, wasn't it?
The CIA.
CIA, to make things seem disingenuous, like literally make people seem like they're in the crazy camp, Yeah.
And they throw it out for everything. I've joked earlier about becoming a mystery channel and I have to change to the history channel. And then I look at what's going on with COVID, and we did a video really early on about how it was probably released from Wuhan. And now I'm looking at it going, oh my God, am I doing right? Like, I've got one right. I feel like Mel Gibson in the conspiracy theory movie, and he's just like, you keep throwing out conspiracies, and then one of them's right, and somebody's going to come knock on the door and arrest them.
You make a point about Hollywood, though. I mean, I think they have a. I think they've made a mockery of our community. Really,
I think a lot of their funding and tax breaks and things come from. Let's do that. Look at the Steven Spielberg movies. He would be a Greerite. I think that aliens come here and they're all peaceful and lovely, and that we shouldn't be worried about them. And then look at every Jerry Bruckheimer Alien movie, and there's probably a Tom DeLonge fan. I think it's on purpose. I think it's on purpose with all the videos that we see and all the fake CGI videos that we see.
So my house is fairly near a hospital, and there's a lot of helicopters coming in and out all the time. And I was outside one evening when it was kind of dusk, and there was a helicopter going over, and my phone kind of switched because I've got a fairly up to date, 3-camera iPhone one, and it's pretty good in the dusk and when there's not much light. And there was a helicopter went over, and it kind of blurred it as it went over, and it did look a little bit like a UFO going over my house. And I put it out and I said, guys, is this real or not real? And no one questioned it. They were like, wow, that's a great sighting. And then we were like, no, this is actually fake. But it just shows how easy it is to fake something.
I think a lot of the CE5 stuff you see as well. And there's a guy with a laser beam, he's shooting in the sky, and then you can see the object moving backwards and forwards. I'm like, have you never seen a bat before? Because bats look a bit like that.
We did an episode a while ago on Stephen Greer, and the episode was specifically on Stephen. But in the conversation, it kind of got down to there's two Stephen Greers at the time, in our opinion. There was the Disclosure Stephen Greer and the CE5 Stephen Greer. So then the conversation got into CE5. Now, I think at the time, and we admitted this afterwards, we weren't well informed enough as we should have been to have probably a top end discussion on CE5 and whether we think that's real or not, because that wasn't what the episode was about. And it caused a little bit of a massive backlash in the CE5 community off the back of that episode, and it rubbed a few people up the wrong way. But after having a really good conversation with a guy called James Rose, who heads up CE5 in the UK, they are nothing but lovely people that we've met so far, and they've kind of opened the community up, given us access. They've sent us all of the directive. We're actually going to learn how to do it, and we're going to attend the CE5 event down the line and try and experience it for ourselves. So in regards to CE5, we're not sitting there going, no, we don't think it's real. We're not sitting there going, we think it is real. We think that's something that's definitely happening. We're gonna go in with an open mind, we're gonna learn how to do it. We're gonna go and we're gonna experience it a few times. We see what happens, and then make our judgments.
Exactly the same attitude I have. I did a Stephen Greer video that I got. I imagine you guys get quite a lot of hate messages. I got some really
religion, isn't it? Well, my issue with Stephen Greer, and obviously I do.
Here we go.